Hello, everybody. Guess what? It is Monday evening at 8 p.m. on the West Coast, and this is Merle's Pearls, Facebook Live, Merle's Pearls. I'm Merle M. Singer, the relationship miracle worker. I've been married over 50 years, by the way, to the same man. And pretty darn happily. There was that time in year 20 that wasn't cool, but the rest has been awesome. So I like to talk about relationship, but today, it's January and December was full of a lot of activities. January, I am taking a moment, more than a moment, several moments to think about what I want to have accomplished by the time December 31st rolls around. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not talking about resolutions because everybody says resolutions don't work. I think anything works if you figure out how to work it. But I guess resolutions, this is it. Resolutions to me seems like it's a tactical approach versus a strategic approach. So, what am I talking about? Tactics. Tactics comes from a military. See, I looked it up. I want you to know. I looked it up and I found out that tactics is a military word. It has to do with figuring out the right maneuvers to win a battle. But strategy is how to figure out which battles to focus on so that you can win the war. It's the big picture. It's the umbrella under which all your activities will be. And so it's not enough to say I'm going to clean my house this week, or I'm going to get rid of the extra books and give them to somebody who will actually enjoy them, or all the tiny little details of your life that we all have. It's every story we have may be different, but it's also very much the same. I want my 2020 year to be fabulous. I want it to be effective. I want it to make me feel really good, like I've accomplished something. Because I guess I feel that in this focus, a New Year's resolution kind of approach, that I've been dealing with, well, I have to do this. I want to talk about relationships at work. I want to talk about relationships at home. I want to talk about saving your marriage. I want to talk about getting married. And they're all different people and all different approaches. I want to have live events. I want to have live events online. I have automated events online. So the different, and every approach is a good approach, but you can't do everything all at once. And so that's where the strategy comes in. If you want to win the war, which battles are you going to pick? Which do you have the right amount of soldiers that can win that war? And I can keep the analogy going, but it'll get too obscure. So I was thinking about it. I think a lot of us kind of live our life and we don't even think in terms of the big picture that we want to accomplish. And maybe I'm as guilty as everyone else. On the other hand, I was thinking, I I always wanted to have some kind of a career. I guess it always kind of, maybe, I mean, at my age, we didn't think we could have kids when we were 40. So if you wanted to have kids, you better plan it quick. And I was late. I was late getting married. I was 29. So toot sweet, we had to have, and I was so careful that I married somebody that already had children. So I didn't have, some of the pressure was off because the kids came to live with us, and I did feel that sense of being at least a second mother to my wonderful Ruthie and Joseph. And so when my son Isaac came along, you know, that was, I guess I had planned that. That was my strategy, to get married, to have kids, and we had a business. My husband and I had a business together. We owned a pharmacy. We owned a couple. So we did business together. And I guess that was part of the strategy. It's what I learned. It's actually what I learned from my parents. That's kind of what my parents did. So it's interesting. So I'm thinking, yes, but I don't know. What about the strategy? What about me as a relationship miracle worker doing all this now? And then I said, well, who always was my hero? My hero when I was growing up was a woman by the name of Grandma Moses. I forget what her real name, I don't mean her, I forget what her full given name was, but they called her Grandma Moses because she started doing artwork. She started drawing when she was 78. Whoa! So she was 78, and here's what I want to tell everyone that's interesting, is she lived till she was 101. So I couldn't find out if she kept drawing, you know, how long she kept doing her artwork, but she had a significant career and showed her artwork starting at 78 and became a phenomenon because of that. So maybe that's my strategy. Maybe my strategy is to start when I'm older than 78. I'm 81, for gosh sakes. So I have things to say, and I hope I have time to say them in. But I have to figure out a way that makes it, that takes in the big picture, that accounts for what is it that most people want to hear from me. I'd like the idea of, I told you about the different courses that I've already given, and I'm not marketing enough. And I'd like to interview, happily married couples to see what we could learn from them. I mean, I can tell you about myself and my relationship, and that's one person, or that's one couple. But wouldn't it be nice that, you know, have a bunch of people? I collect, frankly. Hi, Raymond. Thank you, Tammy. I collect I collect names of people that I think would make great great couples to interview, that are happily married and that are verbal enough that I could ask them questions, and it would be really interesting for for us all. So on the other hand, there's a lot of things in the corporate world, in the business world, and where people are working, where I know specific tactics or specific tricks that people could use in their work life that I don't hear other people saying. I'm not a corporate person, but I know that there are certain things that you can do in relationships that work. They don't just work at home, they work at work. Or frankly, they work at church, by the way. They work at your community center. They work everywhere. Couples counseling was a lifesaver to your marriage. That's awesome. I think that aside from counseling, by the way, I think that couples counseling can work for even if just one person. I think one person can make a difference in a relationship. That's what's amazing. I actually found it was me that made a difference in my relationship, cause my husband participated, but it wasn't enough. I guess some of the things that I needed to know were things about myself. I needed to know that I was the one that was having issues and things like that. What are some of those techniques that work? Oh, AJ. Okay, I'll give you one. It's the best one. If you know nothing else, this will really work at work and anywhere. So for people at work, make a list of everybody at your workplace that you come in contact with on a daily basis. It can be 1 to 3, 1 to 10, whatever it is. Make a list of everybody. Now, take that list and put them in order of the people you like most to the people you like least. Okay? So now you've got the list. You've got the person you like the best on top. We're going to start with the person you like the best on top because that's the easiest to deal with. Because this is what you're going to do. Every day for a week, you're going to take that person, number one person, and you're going to give them a compliment every day for a week. And you see them every day anyway. And it can be about work. It can be about their shoes. It can be about the picture frame on their desk. It doesn't matter. It has to be a compliment, and it has to be authentic, and it can't be, that's a neat shirt for a change. I mean, it has to be nice and no snarkiness, just straight out, that's a pretty shirt, or you look good in that, or anything. So you give a compliment a day for a week, and this is the person you like best, for goodness sake. You ought to be able to handle that. Okay, after that, once a week for that first person. Now we're on to number 2. The second person is not as, but is okay. So number 2, compliment a day for a week, you can handle that. After that, just once a week. And you keep going down till you get to the person you absolutely can't stand, which that may not be true. There may not be anybody you can't stand at work. But just in case there is, let's say you really can't stand them. By this time, you have had enough practice that you can find something to say that is nice, authentic. It doesn't have to be earth-shaking. It just has to be true. It has to be nice, and don't make a big deal about it. That is a beautiful picture of your wife on your desk. There you go. 1 compliment a day for a week, and once a week thereafter. You pay attention to what has changed in your workplace by doing that. You pay attention about the person that's really the most obnoxious. That is like a, what? Somebody says something nice to me? What? They won't necessarily show their shock. Trust me, they will feel the shock, and it will change them. It doesn't change them. You never change people, but you are changing their environment, and people do respond differently in different environments. And one where there is some sense of somebody showing some kind of acceptance of them when they know they're not highly regarded, it makes a difference. So I mean, just try it. I know that this I have experience with. I have clients experience with. The nurse where I have gone to the doctor did cut to the chase and went for the nurse, the other nurse in the office that nobody could stand. And she pointedly, and had a difficult time, but pointedly gave that nurse a compliment a day for more than a week. She just, and this is what happened, AJ. It was like maybe 2 weeks into it, something like that. And another nurse came to her and said, "What's going on with Mary," or whoever her name was? What, all of a sudden she's so nice. I mean, she's nice to the patient. She's even nice to the doctors. Now, my nurse hadn't said anything to anybody about what tactic she was using. She just was giving those compliments. And it was being noticed by other people that the target nurse changed her behavior because her environment changed. That is such a significant piece of information for anybody, because it says to you that if there is an environment that isn't really smooth and comfortable, then you are part of the problem. We're so used to saying, "Look at that son of a gun. Look at her. Look at him. Oh, God." And what happens is that people in the workplace talk to each other, and they say, "Oh, yeah, did you see her? Oh, yeah, did you see him? Can you believe? Can you believe?" And you're creating a negative environment, because people that complain about other people that are complaining are complainers. So if we can understand our power, the power we have to make differences, then we can accept the responsibility that we need to accept to change our workplace. Certainly, it works with your mom, and it works with your spouse, and it works with your kids as well. But it absolutely is a game changer in the workplace. So that's my little tip for the day. I think I went a little off subject. I'm not sure. Between the tactics and the strategy and Grandma Moses. But it's January, and I've got a whole year to plan, and a lot of thoughts are going through my mind. I think yours too. I hope so. I hope I've given you a little inspiration, maybe an idea or two. And that's it for today. So tune in next Monday at 8 o'clock, and we'll see what other brilliant ideas I come up with. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Have a great week. Bye.